Hi everyone, me again. We are going to have a discussion about things that I personally respond to. We talked about fashion in the previous episodes, fashion being used as a form of expression, political discontent, political statements, but fashion can also be used in a humorous way. And one of the things that I find that I gravitate towards are things that make me smile. Years ago, when I first came to Los Angeles, I was introduced to a wonderful vintage clothing business called Gauardian, and the owner has an affinity for whimsical items as well. So if you are in the Los Angeles area, you definitely want to check her out. But in the meantime, what we put together is a grouping of accessories and clothing that all have either tongue-in-cheek or a twisted way of looking at something that's very familiar. And we actually looked up the word whimsy, and it comes from the 1500s Norwegian background. And I want to look at my notes so I don't give the wrong information. The original word, it was derived from whim wham, which I actually prefer. So from now on, no more whimsy, it's whim wham. There's a difference between camp and whimsy, but there is actually a confluence with some of the items. So why don't we start with the purses? This fabulous purse is post-1963 because it has an address with a zip code. The shape makes me think that it's probably mid-60s, and I believe that the actual person, I didn't Google to see if this address exists, but there were times when you could actually go into boutiques, sometimes in Paris, where they would put your name and whatever information, personal information you wanted on. This one looks like a travel suitcase with various tags that indicate places that you've been to. So it's a very lightweight whimsy. On the other hand, this Helmut Lang satin purse looks totally like a paper bag. And I don't know what year he did this, but it even has the serrated edge on the very top. I love this. I've never used it because I really don't want to ruin it. But I will one day. Then we'll go from there to an earlier piece, which is from the 1930s. These are earmuffs with, I think they're composition faces and fake fur. It's expandable, so it can fit any size, although it's rusted, and I wouldn't attempt to make it bigger or smaller. But I mean, can you imagine walking down the street and having people see you wearing these? I think it's just great. Also included are, this is a earring and necklace ensemble that's bronze. It's Brutalist. It's by an incredible designer named Paul Capenier, and I don't know if I pronounced his name properly. I'm sure I will get panned for mispronouncing it. What I love about this is you'll notice that he included various parts of the body that would be considered taboo. And I've actually worn this set and have had people like do a double take when they've noticed that I had it on. And then this wonderful piece is one of, I think, three. It's blown glass eyeballs. It's made by William DeLillo, and it's actually one of my best pieces of costume jewelry. And I have actually had opportunities to wear this in surreal environments. But this will dress up any basic black dress. I love this piece. And then last but not least on this podium are a pair of I believe these are bespoke shoes by an Italian designer, Joseph de Bock. It has the date that he made it, which is January 17th, 2002. I've had a couple of pairs of his things, and this one has comic strips that have been decoupaged on the heel. Comic strips are a pretty common element that designers have used through the decades. You'll see another piece coming up in a minute. But Lichtenstein's graphics are also Moschino used in one of his ensembles. But that's it for the accessories. Whimsy has been used a lot throughout the 20th century. Schiaparelli, who during the Depression era used so much whimsy in collaborations with great artists like Salvador Dali. So we're going to start with this rack, and I'll try to do it chronologically. To begin with, we have this fabulously colorful child's cotton hooded, I would call it a beach jacket. It was deaccessioned from a museum. This is what's called an accession tag. It's sewn on so that it can tell you who the donor was, and it gives you a little bit of history. Says it's an American piece from about 1949. What this shows are pieces of Ripley's Believe It or Not comics. And it's pretty funny. Dog with rabbit ears, tennis balls, again, weight in New York and lose weight in California. I have no idea what that means. But there's some funny things here. It's not in the best condition, but you know, considering it's, 70 years old, it's pretty special. Then we have something that people really enjoy using over and over again. I had that one Castelbajac piece that has a piano keyboard on the back. This is a knit sweater where I don't remember, it doesn't have a label, but it's pretty much 40s, 50s, I would say. You think about the beginning of rock and roll and the Big Bopper, and anyway, you can see someone wearing this maybe with a circle skirt and rocking the night away. Then we go to the 1960s, and this was not an uncommon piece. I've seen several variations of the potato sack dress. It has been worn, it has been loved, and it's in pretty good condition. You can still read all the lettering. And then, for those of you from the LA area, I managed to score a Pussycat Club sweatshirt and go-go boots. I mean, how can you not smile when you see this, right? And then getting into the political arena once again, or comics, I should say, we have a kick in the pants bell-bottom jean, never worn with the original tag hanging on it, and it has like Batman lettering, like boom, and then dynamite exploding, all intact, which is pretty remarkable. And it's a good size. It's a 28 waist. This Moschino Kiss My Patch skirt is from Moschino's collection, which was in 1988. We've actually had a strapless form from this collection that had, it was red background with white polka dots, and it really was powerful. We've seen a couple of high-profile celebrities wearing that particular version. But they're great patches. And Moschino also created this Cruise Me Baby 1989 Lifesaver jacket, and it has everything from lights that'll flash to a fake pull to inflate. And then this wonderful lettering in the back. It's a great piece. Anthony Price is really probably better well known in England. He designed clothing for Roxy Music. He was very influential in the rock and roll world, late 60s, pretty much I would say to the early 2000s. He was quite a tailor, and much like other designers that come from precision tailoring, he created this zipper dress in 1970 that caused quite a stir. And over the years, he would reintroduce it in different incarnations. This is an example of a 1980s zipper dress. And what's fabulous about this is you could literally undress for your partner in a very this one is hand signed with a copyright protection statement, and Mugler was inspired by this design, and I'm just going to drape this back on here. And zippers are used so many times with great design features, but also with whimsy in mind. Anyway, this Mcqueen Ensemble was created during Mcqueen's lifetime, and it's never been worn. It came from a collection where the person that bought it, I don't know why she didn't wear it, but you can see the zippers all function, and it's a compelling design. Other designers use zippers like Claude Montana and Azzedine Alaïa, and I really do need to mention that there are dozens of notable and not so known designers that used whimsy in their creations, most notably Martin Margiela, and his type of whimsy is more of it's in your face, but it's also, you need to think about it. Utilizing gloves to create a bodice or a vest, or playing cards, or in one collection he actually used balloons to create a garment, and clearly a very ephemeral design. And Betsy Johnson, you know, in all of her lovable, adorable personality, is infused in her garments, and we have so many wonderful designers that make us smile, especially at a time when we need it. So for this week's show off, we thought we would kind of do two things at once. We've gotten many requests for men's clothing. Here are 3 examples of Versace's silk shirts for men. This one is my favorite because purple and blue are my colors, and it is, believe it or not, Vogue fashion covers. And this one is posters, opera posters from Venice, from the turn of the century, I think, to the 20s, although I can't really tell. And this one actually says funk and classica on, you know, scattered throughout the shirt. And this face is just fabulous. The front is kind of iconic graphics. But anyway, 3 classic silk men's Versace shirts. This week's show off.